I spy with my little eye. Actually, I don't think I'll bother.
Actually, I think I can see something, sir.
Really? Where? Could it be a friendly recovery vehicle has come to our aid? Or possibly a supply truck filled to the brim with life-saving aid?
It's a desert rat, sir.
Oh, thank heavens! Monty sent the 7th Armoured out to rescue us. How many tanks?
It's not in a tank, sir. It's just sort of scurrying around in front of the left track.
Corporal.
Yes, sir.
It's a gerbil, isn't it?
Yes, I'm afraid it is, sir.
Brilliant! I am starving! Let's have a look at the little fella, shall we? Oh yes, I see the little hairy blighter. Reckon you can pop him from here with the 2-pounder?
I'll see what I can do, but it's been 3 days since we last ate, and frankly, everything is beginning to get, a little bit wavy, sir.
And, well, I suppose being lost in the world's largest desert, in the world's smallest and most uncomfortable tank, doesn't help either.
Oh, hang on. Tease up.
Oh, good. You see, we have to be grateful for the small mercies. And Harris, how long before you get this fine tank of ours moving?
Oh, well, that depends. Once Fuzzy's made a generous personal donation to the water tank, and I've reworked some plumbing, I think we'll be on our way.
Oh, jolly good. Though this is in fact a brilliant ambush position, it is a rather exposed place to overheat and break down.
Sir, I've spotted something, sir.
It's not Vera Lynn, naked and covered in marmalade again, is it? I keep telling you, Fuzzy, they're just mirages. They're not real.
No. It's got more of an aircraft sort of feel to it.
An aircraft? Oh, really? You know, Fuzzy, sometimes you really are a complete and utter hang on. Right. Everybody remain calm. I have just spotted an aeroplane flying around.
Ooh, is it one of ours?
Well, it's bound to be. Headquarters must have sent it out looking for us. Only question is, how do we send out a distress signal?
We could try some flares.
I don't see what changing the cut of our trousers has to do with anything. No, I've got a better idea. Why don't we flash our headlights at him? Yes, we could use Morse code. Right, Harris, on my command. And, go. Yes, and again. Yes. Oh, he's spotted us. He's turning around. Oh, bravo! Thank God. Oh, yes, he's flying straight towards us.
Oh, yes. He is rather low, isn't he? And fast. You know, it's funny. I didn't know we had any 3-engined aircraft in service.
Three engines, you say? Doesn't sound like a familiar type.
It's a Fokker.
He's a Fokker, all right, but he's flying an Italian aircraft.
Well, whose side is he on then?
Well, what year is it?
Well, it's 1941.
Right then. Forwards, driver! Is everybody okay?
Oh, it's everywhere.
What is it? Is there a fire?
Oh, grey, sir. All over the driver's console.
Dear God! Anything else?
There's a chip out of the teapot and... Oh, yeah, yes, the track's come off.
Right. Well, you'd best fix it then.
Oh, yeah, not wrong there. Anyone got any glue? This is prize china.
Ooh, I think I see a mirage.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, look at that. That one, this is fantastic. That one looks just like a convoy of German tanks. God, it's very lifelike, isn't it?
Yes, it's incredibly convincing, isn't it?
Yes, well, it must be a mirage. I don't think the Germans have that many tanks.
Look at the gun on the front of that one. That can't be real.
Good God, no. Look at the size of it. No. You know, this mirage is so believable, I can actually hear it. We must all have incredibly vivid imaginations to see all this.
And we're absolutely sure the German army doesn't have this many tanks.
Why, I'm absolutely sure. And to put your mind at rest, Fuzzy, put one through that imaginary one at the front.
Right you are. I'll aim for the biggest one. There's no harm in it since it's obviously not really there. On its way!
Ha! Harris?
Yes, sir?
Put the teapot repair to one side for just a moment, and get us moving very quickly. Fuzzy?
Yes, sir.
You'd best break out the emergency biscuits. We're gonna need them. We'll keep a solid eye on what's going on from the turret, whilst Harris is repairing the track.
This is the BBC World Service. Force 9, gale wind,
Hang on, I've got something. repair coming along, Harris?
Right, that's done. I'll start her up.
Harris, what have you done to my tank?
It won't start.
Oh, for the love of all that's holy! Right, time for a Weasley ruse. Harris, break open the crates marked Ruddy Convincing Camouflage and see what you can do. Fiendish! Right, they're close. Act natural. Fuzzy, have a look through the right-hand vision slit.
Uh-huh.
How's it looking? Are they gone?
Not exactly, no, sir. In fact, I think they might have spotted us.
But how? We're Oh, wait. Look. They're painted yellow.
Oh, clever. I wish we'd thought of that.
For you, the war is over. Come out with your hands up.
Not on your Nelly. Fuzzy, give them everything you've got.
Everything? What, the machine gun as well?
This is madness. I think I'm going to faint.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Fire! Wait a second.
What, sir?
Those black bars at the top and the bottom of the screen. What are they?
Oh, they add tension. All the movies do it now.
Get rid of them. It looks silly. Anyway, fire!
Ich denke, sie schießen auf uns.
That's the spirit, Harris.
Well, that's a bit of a pisser.
Yep.
An alle Panzer. Feuer frei nach eigenem Ermessen.
Well, that was a stroke of bloody good fortune.
Typical. You had to say it, didn't you, you wank?
Driver, take the next right.
Take a left at the next turning, please, driver.
Berlin, here we come.
Berlin, here we come.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, forwards, driver.
Come on then, let's go.
Excuse me.
So sorry.
I don't suppose I can just...
Sorry.
No problem, I'll just squeeze past.
Look, just go around.
Well, I am trying.
Oh, sorry.
Any second now.
Sorry.
Look, stop, everybody just stop.
What's the matter?
Well, we can't both go at the same time, can we?
No, I see your point. Well, by all means.
No, I couldn't possibly go first. After you, naturally.
No, terribly kind of you to offer, but I'm afraid I insist.
No, I'm sorry, but I simply won't stand for it. After you.
Now listen here, I'm afraid I'll have to demand that you go first.
I wouldn't dream of it, old boy. Not before you, and that's an order.
We hold the same rank.
Ah. Bugger. Well, it seems that we're at something of an impasse.
That is literally the opposite of what this is.
Good morning. Is there a queue?
No, by all means.
Thank you. See you in Berlin for tea and cake.
Good luck out there.
Right, where were we?
I think we just decided that you should go first.
Ah, nice try. But I'm afraid I won't be moving this tank before you move yours.
Good afternoon. I don't suppose you could help. We are looking for the Allied front line. Is this it?
No. You've gone too far, I'm afraid. You want to head back towards the ruined village.
What do you mean, the ruined village? This is 1944, you know. Can you be more precise?
Yeah, well, you can't go wrong if you head straight down the road until you come to the church, and it'll be right in front of you. You can't miss it.
Ah, thank you.
Los!
My pleasure. What an awfully nice chap.
Aha! Is there a giveaway sign? Ah.
No, I can't see one.
Oh dear. Well, I don't suppose you've got a copy of the highway code in there, have you? I mean, we need to sort this out. After all, there's a bit of a queue forming.
What is it, Jenkins?
Oh, it's a queue, sir.
Nah, I still prefer my Bob Simple.
Come on! These goddamn limeys are holding up the entire goddamn war!
Look, it's quite simple. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I don't know what institution taught you maggots that a strategic advantage requires you to have one of your flamboyant little drinks, but you will get a goddamn move on.
Oh, now you're in a hurry, are you? But I take your point. Get that kettle on.
Die warten wohl, um unsere Kapitulation zu akzeptieren. Ja, das musste sein. Fahrer, benutze dein Hemd als weiße Flagge und fahr langsam zu ihnen.
You will knock that fence down and get this convoy on the move!
Now look here, my good man. My orders are no unnecessary destruction of property. We'll get underway shortly, but we'll do it properly and in an organised fashion.
Sir, there's a right big bastard of a tank coming straight down the road towards us.
Yes, I see him, Gunner, and he's waving a French flag.
Pro tank in the open! Let him have it!
On its way! See anything, Jenkins?
Nope.
Well, it looks like we've got no choice now. Gunner, open fire. Hold on, delay that order. What the hell are those?
All the movies do it, you know. They create suspense.
Well, get rid of them. They're silly.
Ah, shite. We missed him.
Oh, drat.
Shall we fire again, sir?
No, it's his turn. Oh, dear.
Fire! Oh, bother. That's a bit of a lively glow. Yes, things are looking a tad bleak. I think we'd better make a tactical withdrawal. Do you still have your driver?
Nope, he's gone.
Well, where's he gone?
Pretty much everywhere. Look, you make a dash for it, and I'll hold off the Panzer.
No, I couldn't possibly. I'm afraid I'll have to demand that you go first.
No, I'm sorry, but I simply wouldn't accept it. You go, and I'll hold him off, as I've still got one arm. Oh, no, hang on. There it goes.
Oi, skipper. Looks like a ship below us, sir.
What class?
Why, thank you very much, sir. I was only doing my job.
No, what type of seafaring vessel is it?
Well, it's hard to say, eh? I mean, everyone paints the bloody things the same colour, don't they?
Well, then we'll just have to do it by the book. We'll drop the torpedo and then I'll shout, "Look out!" That way, if they're English, they'll have ample time to move away.
Bloody red tape. Oh well, look out. Torpedo away.
Oh, it's raining.
At last, the home field advantage.
Oh, f***ing marvellous.
Now, come on, I insist you retreat first. Look, I'll even hold the tank door open for you.
Absolutely not. I wouldn't hear of it. Not that I can hear anything, you understand. Got this awful whistling noise in my ear.
Hang on, I can hear it too. Bloody hell, that is loud, isn't it?
Mein Herr, der Feind hat unsere Lenkung ausgeschaltet. Wir können nur im Kreis fahren.
Verdammt, das ist ja wie bei der Bismarck. Wir dürfen das Schiff nicht dem Feind überlassen. Besatzung, bereitet die Versenkung vor.
Oi, oi, he's pushing into the queue, he is.
Yeah, get him, lads.
Right, well, that showed him. Now, where were we? Yes, I remember. After you. Hello? Hello?
I think they're dead, sir. Stone dead.
Oh, are they? Well, thank God for that. We can finally move. Thank you very much. God, what awful people. Don't you hate it when that happens?
What, tank battle, sir?
No, well, yes, obviously that. Obviously tank battles, nobody likes them, obviously. But people like that, I mean, did you hear him back there? I insist you go first. What a piece of work. I didn't want to say anything at the time, obviously, but the bloody nerve. I mean, who the hell did he think he was? Also, what the hell is the matter with this weather? I mean, that rain cleared up unrealistically quickly, if you ask me. It wasn't very convincing, was it? And these videos take weeks to make, he says. Right, here's everything wrong with German tanks. A vast subject, I agree, but one that I've expertly managed to compress into a small enough video. So here we go. Well, firstly, and put simply, their guns. Well, they're too big, aren't they? Like this one here. You see, guns are like haircuts. They need to be short and well maintained, otherwise they just get in the way. Why, you only have to look at one of the many documentary films out there, such as Kelly's Heroes, to see something like this. Ah yes, now here's a tiger, and he's about to fall victim to his own oversized gun. Why yes, our plucky heroes have caught Jerry with his pants down once again. But oh dear, they've loaded paint and done up the back of that tiger like the fourth bridge. It's at this point that the tiger attempts to traverse his turret in order to return fire. But alas, his vast codpiece of a barrel is just too big. And so, faced with this predicament, this commander attempts to pop off out to the shops to pick himself up a 2-pounder gun made by a British armory. But not on Clint Eastwood's watch, as he brutally guns him down. Rather deservedly, I think. Now on to Exhibit B, with some more historical footage. And look, it's another tiger! Notice how they can't face their turret forwards, for fear of damaging the gun on something. No, this simply wouldn't do in a combat situation. Whereas, in this historical archive footage, this British tank has no such trouble. In fact, the trees positively fly off the tank. Yes, in a realistic, normal, everyday physics way. Nothing wrong here. Anyway, this all allows for faster traversing of rough terrain, and is yet another reason to keep your gun short. Now, the second thing that's really wrong with German tanks is that they're all too bloody fast. This Panther tank here, for example, will do 55 kilometers an hour. Now, I don't know how fast that is, but it'll do 35 miles an hour. Now, that's too fast, especially for the infantry. I mean, it's almost as if Jerry designed his tanks expecting his infantry to be motorized or something. No, that wouldn't do. Ah, yes, now this is more like it. This is a Churchill, the walking man's tank. The top speed, 15 good old-fashioned British miles in an hour. This beauty wouldn't... Hang on, any second now. No, too early. Aha! This beauty wouldn't do 35 miles an hour if you pushed it off a cliff, which means the average highly trained British soldier can jog comfortably alongside you all the way to Berlin. And before any Germans in the audience write in to complain that I'm not being fair, and that the Cromwell is just as fast as the Panther, I'll have you know that the Cromwell had its speed limited to 32 miles an hour, just in case it was too fast. And that wasn't just because at 40 miles an hour it was so uncomfortable the men inside couldn't take it. It was for a variety of other reasons, like sportsmanship and fair play. Yeah, that's good. You can't have a tank that fast, it wouldn't be fair, which is precisely my point. Now moving on to the third thing that's wrong with those jumped-up tractors the Germans like to call their panzers, is that they're too big. Look at the size of that one! You wouldn't get that through a Belgian forest. Why, all you have to do is simply compare this giant German panzer to an equally capable British design to see there's a problem. Yes, these tanks all have enormous silhouettes, making them easily targetable by our more sleek and lower profile types. And that's if the RAF doesn't see them off first. Yes, badly designed tanks that are this big are even easier to spot in our aircraft.
Speaking of big design-heavy tanks, how is your Churchill doing?
Ah, well you see, that's completely different. We have air superiority. We can build them as big as we like. Say, you're not German, are you?
Nope, I'm Austrian, with some Prussian tendencies. Most people know me as military history visualized. I cover military history with an analytical and...
Right, moving on. I mean, you can check his channel out if you like, but I fancy he won't be uploading very much anymore. Not in the state he's in. Not after that. Right, moving on. Now, another thing that's wrong with German tanks is that they stay in service for too long. Now, you see, a good old-fashioned British tank has what's known as a service life. It gets built, it sees combat, it dies. Or breaks down. Or gets left in France, or all three, which ensures that our boys are left with the latest, up-to-the-minute, state-of-the-art kit at all times. Whereas the Germans, by contrast, well, they just don't get it. They keep their tanks in service for years. I mean, by the time it comes to fighting our lads in our cutting-edge designs, almost half of Adolf's lot are still trotting around in old Skodas they captured years ago. And since we, the British, are champions of fair play and decency, we think it makes for rather poor sport to shoot at the enemy when they're playing at such a decisive disadvantage. Enemy tank spotted. Gonna open fire, please.
Are you sure, sir? Doesn't seem fair to me. I mean, it's so old.
And finally, on to our last point. German tanks have very silly names. Like the Neubfahrzeug, or that design classic, the Sidkefutz 234/4. I mean, half of them are named after bloody animals, for heaven's sake. Tigers, panthers, elephants, it's just silly, really. Such names don't really strike fear into the hearts of their enemies, do they? Not like the Valentine or the tortoise, which, granted, is technically an animal, but what an animal. They live for 150 years, you know. And what's this? Excuse me, the Dicker Max? Oh, well now they're just taking the piss. What does Dicker Max even mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means nothing. Nothing at all to me, because I don't speak German. Because we won the bloody war, because we know how to name a tank. Well, we invented them, didn't we? And so, there's everything wrong with German tanks. Right, here's everything wrong with German aircraft. Yes, after everything wrong with German tanks, my audience demanded this video be made. I'm afraid he really was that insistent. Now, I should mention that this video is serious and completely unbiased, and that's a promise. So, shall we begin? I think we shall. I think we have. Yes, the first thing that's wrong with German aircraft is that they're armed with too many cannons. Now, heavens knows we, the British, enjoy a good cannon from time to time, but not on aircraft. No, machine guns were good enough for the Great War, and by thunder, they're still the perfect weapon of choice for any air-to-air engagement. Why, here on this Spitfire, fire 8 Browning 303 machine guns. With this array of weapons, you could tackle aircraft, tanks, buildings, countries, anything you like, really. Whereas on this German 109, oh dear, cannons. Boo! Hiss! Yes, quite right. I mean, you only have to look at one of the various documentary films out there, like The Red Tails, to see how rubbish and ineffective cannons are in dogfights. Now, for various legal and copyright reasons, I'll be playing the rather challenging part of our pilots, with an accurate commentary. I say, old chap, what a wizard bit of luck! Indeed. Why, I really must write to Goering and tell him how ineffective his cannon are. Oh, blast! I appear to have misplaced my writing apparatus. Damn stationery shortages! Yes. And now, by comparison, and in order to avoid claims of bias, heaven forbid, here's some true-to-life, accurate, documentary film proof that machine guns are better than cannons from the 1969 production Battle of Britain. Yes, now, here's a Spitfire. He's been strafed. Now everyone's having a bit of a fight. Oh yes, our man's got one in his sights. Dagger, 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 dagger. Yes, Jerry's hit. He's leaking like a civil servant, and kablam! Bet he's a sauerkraut. This chap was hit so hard, he squirted all the tomato sauce out of his burger all over the place. And I think you get the idea. Yes, there's a reason that every British aircraft you come across is armed with the devastating 303 caliber machine gun. And you'll notice that they're always positioned in the correct place. Like here, on the Wellington. Yes, this well-organized and impenetrable defense screen of machine guns covers almost any conceivable angle of attack that enemy fighters might use. Except below, obviously. No aircraft would dare attack from there, no, for fear of being bombed. Yes, it seems gun placement is just something the Germans can't seem to get a grip on. And so, yes, the second thing wrong with German aircraft is that all their guns are in the wrong places. Yes, no, now what are they trying to do there? Good God, no. Yes, oh dear, no, it's all wrong. They can't just put guns wherever the hell they fancy, like behind the propeller. That's where the engine goes. They'll just shoot off their own propeller. Well, unless they cover the blades with metal or develop some kind of mysterious crankshaft-driven synchronization gear-type device, which would allow for synchronized shot to pass through without striking. But I fancy we're straying into the realms of fantasy here. And as you know on this channel, we like to stick to the facts. Professional. Now allow me, if you will, dear audience, to demonstrate guns behind propellers are not working. Fire! You wait. You'll be pulling bits of propeller out of your face all afternoon. Yeah. Any second now! Come on, you bastard! Aha! What's this? The propeller has been broken off by the gunfire. It was definitely by the gunfire. Yeah, you see, these Germans, they're all a bunch of bloody cowboys. Yes, instead, I'll show you a couple of examples of how the British do things. Properly, in case you were wondering. Like here. Now, to the untrained eye, this aircraft appears to be completely unarmed. But that's just what we want Jerry to think. For in actual fact, this aircraft is a veritable fortress on wings. Aha! Oh, no, wait, that's a flare gun, sorry. Aha! Yes! Now, instead of fixing our gun to any one particular spot, we've developed this cutting-edge strategy based around air-to-air pistol marksmanship, or as I like to call it, pistol ship. No matter where your enemy is in relation to your aircraft, you're always able to calculate a precise shot with your revolver. No mess, no spillages. In our plane, at least. But wait, what if for some unforeseen reason 6 revolver shots aren't enough? Maybe there are 7 German aircraft. Well, then you can fall back on this, a good old-fashioned Lewis gun. I mean, yes, if we're being picky, you do have to stand up in your seat to reload it, but you can't have everything, can you? And besides, This elevated position will also allow you to get a marvelous overall strategic view of the dogfight, and allow you to select the next German squadron for engagement. Now, the next thing that's wrong with German aircraft are their cockpits. Firstly, and this is a deal breaker, all of the controls, well, they're in German, an alien language that I don't read, despite doing 5 years of it in school. I mean, what does Geschwindigkeit even mean? No wonder they lost the bloody war. No sod knows. Oh, and it's all in metric. Ugh. Also, compared to British designs, it's very hard to see out of here. And there's reason for that. You see, we the British don't get to see the sun very much, and so when we're above all the clouds and that, we try and make the most of it by making all of our cabins as airy as possible.
I do like the bee beside the seaside. I do like the bee beside the sea.
Oof. Now, the next thing that's really wrong with German aircraft is that they all seem to have fuel-injected engines instead of good old-fashioned carburetors, meaning that if they try and pull some silly negative G maneuvers or try flying inverted, well, nothing happens. Whereas if you try and show off like a hooligan in a hurricane, for example, the engine will momentarily cease as fuel either starves or floods it. Now, this prevents our pilots from pulling these silly maneuvers in the first place, and them bringing up all their full English breakfast all over the cockpit. Yes, the introduction of fuel injectors halt essential work, allowing aircraft to be put into what can only be described as frankly dangerous maneuvers. That wouldn't work in the Royal Air Force. No. Well, everyone flying upside down? Nah, never. Well, they'd spill their tea, wouldn't they? Now, the fifth thing that's wrong with German aircraft is that they're all very dangerous. Why, yes, in a completely independent survey undertaken by the Squidonian Flying Machine Safety Board, findings on German aircraft concluded that they were rubbish and probably unsafe. The results are as follows. Messerschmitt 109 crashed on landing. Focke-Wulf 190 crashed on takeoff. Yes, this one crashed, and this one here, that definitely crashed. Yes, it appears it appears the independent survey found that all German aircraft are prone to crashing. All apart from one. Yes, our top surveyors couldn't find a single fault with this machine, apart from the paintwork. Now, it's at this point that any Germans in the audience will be quick to point out the smallest flaws in British aircraft design, but I assure you, there are none.
I'm afraid you're wrong. Take for example the Sopwith Camel, an infamously tricky aircraft to handle. It rendered many of its own pilots kaput, yeah? With its off-balance center of gravity and murderous spins.
Ah, yeah, tricky. I was sort of banking on no one mentioning the Camel, to be honest. Aha! Brilliant! British aircraft are purpose-built flying machines, designed for a well-trained, elite British pilot. And we only have skilled pilots in our Air Force, because all the others crash in training. Say, friend, you're not a German, eh?
Yes, hello my friends. I'm Bismarck, and I run a channel that specializes in military aviation history. And while I'm here, I think I'll start correcting all of Squire's videos, which are filled with propaganda.
Bismarck, ladies and gentlemen. His channel was very good. Some truly informative videos. Bit German though. Anyway, where were we? Ah yes, German aircraft are dangerous, prone to crashing, or just blowing up whenever the hell they feel like it. Which is unfortunate for them, as they couldn't make enough. Actually, that was our fault. Any road, the next thing that's really wrong with those German flying machines are their names. Yes, Germans seem to have a great deal of trouble naming their aircraft in the appropriate manner. It got so bad that we, the British, had to step in and name their aircraft for them. Allow me to educate with some examples. Now, this is a yellow-nosed bastard, called so on account of its yellow nose. This one is a butcher bird, because it's prone to bird strikes. Probably. This is science fiction. Now these are known as cabbage crates. The Germans can't afford real bombs, so they drop cabbages instead. This is the core blimey, run! Whereas this is known as Jerry's budget meteor ripoff. Here we have a fine example of the flying tin opener. The name, like the concept, borrowed from our own genius. This is the flying pencil, called so because it resembles a pencil and is prone to filling with lead. Whereas this type is recognized as Mrs. Goering's flying greenhouse because it's large and resembles a greenhouse. And as we discussed earlier, there are usually tomatoes involved. This is stolen Vickers Armstrong Company property, to be returned if found. And finally, this is the careful, gently does it. Oh crikey, there's a drop of fuel in the tank. Kablam! Yes, all appropriate names I think you'll find. Now, finally, the last thing that's wrong with old German aircraft is that they're not Spitfires. Yes, why even Fern and Falke here agree with me.
Fern, Falke. Jawohl, Herr Reichsmarschall. Geben Sie mir eine Staffel Spitfire.
So you can forget your Vorsprung dick technique. I'll go with the fighter that was drawn up in a shed somewhere in Southampton by a company that primarily made flying boats. Anyway, I sincerely hope you all enjoyed this video. I really do. If you did, please dispatch a like via carrier pigeon. If it seems there's been a small dip in the video output compared to what is usually, I think you'll agree, a flood of video entertainment, I apologize. I was quite fantastically ill in these recent weeks, and although my doctor advised against it, I threw caution to the wind and sat on my ass and spoke at my computer for a while. I know. I don't want any awards or medals or public displays of thanks for my courage. I did it for my country, and because I need to eat. And on that note, my absolute thanks to those who support this channel over on Patreon. It really does help. And, yes, cheerio! Good morning.
What the hell?
Okay. Hello, sir.
I'm gonna enjoy watching you die.
Yeah, bit rude. Yes, the general store.
Now listen here, scoundrel. You keep causing trouble, I'm gonna have to go get the law. Well, it's been a long time since I've seen you, friend. What can I get you?
Well, some consistency would be nice.
Well, you can take a look in the catalog or have yourself a look around.
Yeah, thanks.
$6? God, I'm gonna need to remortgage my horse.
What are you, crazy?
Take your problems elsewhere.
Right, I'm warning you, I'm practically invincible. Well, unless you've got a big rock and a horse for me to fall off. Right, look.
He's got a gun.
Oh my heavens.
Why can't folk just buy something these days? They're always trying to rob.
I'm getting the sheriff.
Look, everyone just calm down, okay? Let's communicate, take a breath, and I'm sure we can sort this all out.
I'm gonna report you to the law. You didn't even cover your face, you idiot.
Well, that's because I'm not robbing you.
He'll surely kill us. Please, sir, have mercy.
No, I won't. I'm saving honor. So I'm not going to shoot you. I'm just going to tie you up and leave you to starve.
Your money or your life. This here's a robbery.
You're not the constabulary.
Well, howdy, stranger. Feel free to look around.
Don't worry, I'll defuse the situation. Now look here.
Thank you, kind stranger. You saved our lives.
It really wasn't deliberate. Yeah, no hard feelings?
You're welcome here anytime.
Ah, thanks, man.